Hey Tom, how does it feel? How does it feel to get literally everything you want as a football fan?
Well, I mean, I
Oh,
didn't get the
fire our
NFC.
defensive coordinator. Check. Oh, I just want Jordan Love to show that he might be the guy. Oh, he's definitely the guy. Oh, I'll be happy if we just look competitive this season. Oh, we beat the most annoying team in America in the playoffs. Oh, we're actually ready to move on from Aaron Rodgers. Oh, bye. See you later. Everything you want as a fan just happens.
We didn't get the NFC Championship game though. That would have been
Oh.
Oh, baby. We here.
Yeah.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. And this is GPS. And breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, about an hour ago, the Green Bay Packers announced that they will be moving on from defensive coordinator Joe Barry, a move that many fans have wanted for a bit now. For a bit, just put out a whole video about it, talking about it. Not a reaction video, because I actually legit wanted to talk about it and why this is happening and why this is a thing that needed to happen.
Good. So we don't have to talk about it.
Cool. Here we go.
Go watch Tom's video.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give a shit about Joe Barry and the Packers anymore.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I can't even live vicariously through other teams.
No. Let
Ooh,
me be very clear.
There you go.
Jim Leonard's not my first choice. I want to be very, very clear about that.
Who is the last guy Packers fans want? That's who I want to be your new DC.
There's plenty of people. Don't want Sean Desai. I'll tell you that much. Nope. Definitely.
Matt Patricia, Brandon Staley.
Don't want Matt Patricia. Nay.
I don't think Patricia's getting another gig. Staley will.
That's exactly Jam. I'd rather him go somewhere else and like that be his first ever job, in the NFL. Nay. Yeah, this is like a thing that has needed to happen. And like Joe Barry, legit, like the players seem to like him. He's well liked in the locker room. Seems like a nice dude. And it's just a matter of like, it was time. It was time for him to go. No.
You want Ronnie?
It was time for him to go. Because the most infuriating thing was the lack of consistency. That was the issue. In that they went on stretches where they could have a great game plan for Patrick Mahomes. They could have a great game plan for Dak Prescott, except at the end a little bit there. They can hold Justin Jefferson to 80 yards, but they can also allow Bryce Young to have a career game. They can allow Baker Mayfield to have a perfect passer rating at Lambeau. They can blow it on the game-winning drive for Tommy DeVito and also against the 49ers. Like, that was the problem. There was never consistency, and there was never the adapting to being aggressive when they needed to. Appreciate you, K-Wright. And the thing is, like, the defense just never really improved because you had Dom Capers, right? And then you brought in Mike Pettin, and that didn't really work out. Then you bring in Joe Barry, and you keep investing in this defense over and over and over again. His first year, they were 14th in points allowed. They were 11th in rushing yards per allowed, and they were 9th in passing yards per allowed. So I was like, wow, that's pretty damn good. And then it just got worse. Then they went to 26th in rushing yards allowed. Then they went to 28th this past season. And that's been also the story, too. The run defense is always bad. And the highs of Joe Barry were definitely high, but the lows were some of the worst in the league. And at this point, like, you just need a change there at DC. I'm talking scheme change, mentality change. I'm talking how aggressive you are. Like, we need something different there than a Mike Pettin, Joe Barry, Dom Capers. Because even when Joe Barry was hired, Ejiro Evero was considered for that job at the time, and they didn't hire him. And they hired Joe Barry, and his record was really bad. He was defensive coordinator. He was with the 0-16 Lions. He was also with the Washington when they were super bad. And his, like, one saving grace was he made the linebackers with the Rams look really good. And I was like, okay, maybe he could do that. And then that didn't work out. So no Jack Del Rio either. I don't want that. I want somebody different. I would not mind somebody young, but I also could go with like a Wink Martindale like kind of type. I don't want Staley either, but it wouldn't be the worst to have Staley as like a DC. I think he'd be okay, but like legit, I want something different because like I look at what the Ravens have and I look at how they just freaking tackle, and I'm like, can I have that, please? Like, just for one season. Can I just please have that where I don't have to be, like, peeing my pants every single time the defense goes out there wondering if Preston Smith is going to be on their wide receiver one? Please? Please? Sorry, now I'm done.
Okay, good, because I kind of zoned out there, if I'm being honest. You know who you guys should consider?
Oh, God.
And I'll hate you for it. I'll hate you, like, so much. Is Broncos defensive backs coach Christian Parker. He recently interviewed with the Patriots with Mayo for their DC position, and for Broncos fans, one, he helped bridge the fan or the Evero Vance Joseph sort of. He helped teach Vance Joseph what they were doing. And they adjusted and adapted, and he was a big reason the Broncos defense was able to kind of make their turnaround this season. Obviously, coaching their defensive backs, one, Pat Surtain's really good, but what they did with Jaquan McMillan there, Moreau, he's one of those names under the radar, would be an excellent hire for you guys, and I would not like it one bit. So that's a name. Like we know enough when it's coordinators. It's just like swapping other coordinators. But what you really want is like the guy who's ready to make that leap from like a position group or whatever to the next spot. And if the Packers find that guy, I think that's really what you're looking for. Unless it's like a head coach who fails and then you drop him back to DC.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's the thing too. I am very happy about this decision because I think it also indicates where Matt LaFleur is at. Because Matt LaFleur always like had some high praise for Joe Barry, obviously friendly with him. He got the job. But it's also like, yeah, no, we're not going to settle for this anymore. Because there were some that thought like maybe he's going to keep his job. And that was like the constant comments in the chat. They're like, well, would you rather beat the 49ers or the Cowboys at the time? Or would you rather have Joe Barry fired? I'm like, Joe Barry is likely getting fired. I said this for weeks. I think the Panthers game kind of solidified it. And while he did have some good performances after that, I was like, there's just no shot because the consistency is not there. Now, if they won against the 49ers and potentially went to the Super Bowl, maybe that's a different story. And I guess you could kind of then justify it a little bit more, even though I think I know where your ceiling would be. But he had this hot streak last year. They had that streak where the Packers won a bunch of games. Like Tua had a bunch of turnovers. They won in Miami on Christmas. Like they had that. And then they got their ass kicked by the Lions in week 18. So, you know what I mean? Like the hot and cold streaks is just too much. It's just too much. So we gonna see, baby. We gonna see. You seem indifferent.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big hire. You guys get it right. You're going to be really good. Cool. You'll have no flaws. No flaws. Yeah. Must be nice to be so optimistic about your future.
But yeah, no, it's exciting because like I'm curious to see who they're going to bring in. There's talks about Joe Barry still remaining in the building. That's fine. Like you could do whatever you got to do, but just we need something different there. And I'm curious to see what who the Packers identify and go, yeah, this is going to like take that team to the next level because that could get them over the hump.
Nobody's going to, if Spags leaves, he's not doing a lateral move.
I don't think so.
And I think Spags is just one of those dudes who should be a defensive coordinator for the rest of his career. He already had a shot as a head coach. Didn't work out. I think he's just really good as a DC. I don't think he's going anywhere.
That's fair. Dude, I mean, I would love it, but like same thing. Vrabel ain't going down to DC. Like he's gonna get a head coaching job, I would assume.
Yeah. Vrabel is. I mean, if you want to talk about the head coaching stuff real quick, we got. There's
so many rumors now.
Jim Harbaugh, right, in Chargers. That seems like it's imminent. Seems like it's close.
Yep.
The fact that the Falcons have not hired Bill Belichick yet is like, okay, are they going? Like, what if we go through this coaching cycle and Belichick doesn't land a job?
Yeah.
That could be odd. Vrabel's still out there. There's no like team he's like linked to where it's like, oh yeah, that's his job, like we are with Harbaugh. Is Vrabel interviewing with the Falcons?
I haven't even seen Vrabel. Like,
Vrabel.
I feel like his name, while I think is obviously one of the best potential candidates remaining, I think there's other guys who are like Belichick and Harbaugh are just gonna get more press.
Yeah, nobody? I see nothing on Vrabel. Where's the
it's
Vrabel
been
titillation?
Very, very quiet. He's been very, very quiet.
Yeah. And so, and the Panthers, of course, have an opening. I think they're interviewing Ejiro Evero for a second interview for the head coaching job. And who's the other person? Callahan. The Titans landed their guy.
Yeah.
So what are the vacancies still? Chargers, Falcons, Panthers.
Because they hired their GM, which was an internal hire.
And Seahawks, of course.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be because was it Nielsen, right? Because he was
Commanders. Commanders still haven't hired their head coach.
Yeah, the Falcons. It's the Falcons DC, right? Before that, and wasn't he with the Saints before that? I like the Saints because he was the D-line coach, and their D-line was always really solid. So, the Jaguars DC wasn't the defense wasn't the worst. It kind of just dropped off, but then again, so did the offense.
Yeah,
they kind of got a lot of things to fix about that. Yeah, Dave, it's this weird thing because that's what it is. Like Joe Barry's a really nice guy, and like I said, loved by the players and stuff. But it's just time to move on. And you're not doing the job, and so you just gotta move on. That's it. No hard feelings.
Keep him around. Like we talked about it earlier. John Fox, he's got some role with the Lions, right? Players like him. I think there's value there with experience, with
I think so.
Maybe coaching at practice, those sorts of things. It was more about what Barry did as an in-game defensive coordinator that had people puzzled. So
yes. Yeah.
If Vrabel wants to just be a DC for a year or whatever, he'll be like,
please.
Yeah.
Please. All the money. I
feel like Vrabel to Seattle makes too much sense.
Vrabel to Seattle does make a lot of sense. Yeah.
Although I predicted they sneak in and get Ben Johnson. So I kind of need that for my prediction.
That'd be really interesting. And I want to talk about something real quick because Raiders, what are they doing? Because they Antonio Pierce, right? And everyone's like, yes, garbage. Right? Everybody kind of admits like, yes, that is the right choice. Players love him. Fans love him.
When you got your best player threatening to ask for a trade and Max Crosby, if you don't hire the man, you kind of just do it.
So, back-to-back news yesterday that they're bringing in Luke Getsy as a potential new offensive coordinator, and Bears fans were like, really?
Give Getsy, maybe Getsy needs a different type of quarterback to be a better offensive coordinator.
Sure. Rushing
That's
game
a little
was good.
like the silver line or the hope.
The run game was good with Getsy.
Yeah.
The run game was good.
Sure.
Not very innovative, and the play calling was hot garbage, but like, what have you. So they're interviewing him, and then Telesco,
the Chargers GM, takes the Raiders gig.
I was like, oh, okay. It's an interesting hire. I don't know how to feel about that one because, like, the way it was pitched, it was like he's built one of the best rosters in LA, and then you're like, I mean, like, they have good players, 100%. Yeah, they do. I wouldn't use the Chargers as a recipe for success in getting, great results, but okay.
The Chargers have had the best roster that fails every year for like the last 25 years.
Yeah. I want someone who has experience in the NFL.
I think it's fair to be optimistic about that. One, that he knows, he understands the division. He did get pieces there for the Chargers. So maybe the right coach gets the most out of those players. But if you're looking at like the Chargers' best pick, right, it's Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
And that was just the only choice left available to them because Burrow's gone, Tua's gone. So, yeah, they get Herbert, right?
Yeah. I mean,
so that's not really like it's the same way where if you want to like give the Texans all the credit for drafting CJ Stroud, it was like, well, the decision was made for you. So you took the other guy who was everybody thought was really good. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
It just seems like, what are we doing here? You know, it doesn't make sense.
I'm just scared to say anything definitive about any of these hirings because like as soon as I do, I feel like the opposite's going to happen. Like, yeah, Telesco sucks. Enjoy sucking Raiders, and then they'll somehow draft the next Patrick Mahomes.
That's fair. That is 100% fair. I mean, because we don't know, right? And like you said, maybe if Getsy does get the Raiders gig, like maybe it's going to be better just because not in that environment anymore, what have you.
Yeah.
It just
like what did the Raiders do at quarterback? What are they doing there? They're rocking with Aiden O'Connell. They seeing what like he's got. Maybe he's a Getsy guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're same position the Broncos are in. It's like, what are we doing with our quarterback? Till you figure that out, you ain't shit in the NFL.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Better draft Jordan Love while you have a Hall of Famer on your roster because there's no other way to do it unless you're a top 3 team.
Yeah.
And if you're picking top 3, I mean, if you're picking number 2, that seems to be the spot lately. CJ Stroud last year, year before, Aiden Hutchinson. You just need the number 1 team to take the not guy, and pick number 2 is the best spot to be in. You get better value, and then that dude is awesome. Easy. Just be the second worst team in the NFL, and all your fortunes change. Congratulations. Patriots? Are they picking 2?
So the Bears should trade down, is what you're saying. The Bears should definitely trade down to 2. They're like, you can't mess it up.
Oh, God, yeah. If anybody's going to mess up the 1 spot, it's the Bears. So you should swap with Washington, get some extra value, let them take the guy they think they want, and then you just take whoever they don't.
Exactly. You're just like, now we crushed it.
Caleb Williams or Drake May, nobody really knows. So let Washington make that decision. We already know their new GM was the part of the genius who took Trey Lance, right? Mm-hmm. Let him do it again.
Mm-hmm. Also, speaking of hirings, we could talk about the Panthers. So the Panthers decided to hire internally. They got Mr. Dan Morgan, right, who's been with the team for, 6 years? He's been with the team for a while, to be their GM. I like, first of all, I'll be very honest. Everything I know about the Panthers front office, it is usually not positive things. Nope. So, but I will also say, like, I don't know what to think of this hire in terms of, like, if he's going to be good or not. I'm not terribly surprised that they went internally because I think for you to work with Tepper, the line to do that is not going to be incredibly long. I think that when it comes to hiring a head coach, it's gonna be a bit difficult. Like, they're not gonna land one of these major guys. I don't think that they're gonna get a Ben Johnson. I don't think that they're gonna get like a Vrabel or definitely not a Belichick or a Harbaugh. And this is not to like crap on the Panthers at all. I just think that they're in a very tough situation.
Oh, Panthers fans know. Oh, they know.
They're gonna have to bring in somebody who's like wants their first crack at a head coaching gig. Or it's somebody who has like been, around the league for a very long time. And it's kind of like, this is my sunset, last one. But they just got to hope that whoever they bring in, like if it is like an unknown person, that they just crush it. Like maybe because like that unknown, they have that, we don't know what we have. Maybe they can turn this thing around and make it look good.
The bar is so low for the Panthers.
Yeah.
So it's an appealing job in that like you should be able to do better.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I took this 2-win team, turned them into a 5-win team. That's improvement. 6 wins the next year. Oh my God, we're going up. Boom, fired. And then you've got 2 years of head coaching experience. People are like, hey, they were better with that dude.
Yes.
Let's hire him for a real head coaching job.
That's
what sucks for the Panthers is they have the luxury of being one of the second wealthiest team, which gives them flexibility with eating contracts, eating dead cap, eating all the things where you got to have cash on hand to pay out. Yet their owner is not patient and seems to get in the way too much and make everybody's job harder. And if you're making everybody's job harder, you're not doing your job well.
Correct. And that's the one thing I saw too, that he did play for the Panthers as well. And I was like, okay, so like, yeah, having that familiarity, like hopefully can be like that player's GM. Like that's what you got to hope for. You know, it's just, again, I just think the line is not going to be very long.
They could have the best GM and head coach there, but they have to be given the freedom to do what they need to do. And we have not seen that play out once since Tepper's taken over. So,
hey, happy birthday. Let's go. Let's go. Come on now. Let's go. Yeah, I agree. And then again, I think they could turn it around because someone just said in the chat too, like Bryce Young is not a bust. Like legit, is thrown into one of the worst situations.
Yeah, you gotta give
behind
it
a bad O-line, right? Not a great owner. The offense is struggling. They don't have a lot going for them. Like you need to like build a roster around Bryce Young before you could say he's either this or this.
Yeah.
And that's hopefully, what their new GM is going to be able to do. But
yeah, I mean, he had his play caller switched early season.
Head coach gone.
It went from Reich to the OC to back to Reich, and then Reich was fired. Then a new guy comes in. No everything's wrong for Bryce Young. But even within that too, I think if CJ Stroud were with the Panthers, it would have been, pretty much as bad, but we'd have been like, we saw some flashes from that dude.
Sure.
And I don't think we saw that from Bryce Young. So if you want to critique Young, I think there weren't enough moments where you go, oh God, that guy's got something crazy there.
There were a lot of flashes. I don't think that there's enough for me to be like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But there's also you have to look at it with some context here.
Yeah.
And while he didn't do well, I mean, dude, I know this is going to be the worst comparison ever. And I'm not trying to say it's apples to apples. But CJ Stroud in those preseason games look like hot trash. Dude, I remember watching his first series. And I was like, oh man, this is bad. All the articles started getting written and just got to wait. I'm not saying Bryce Young is going to be the guy. I'm not saying that he's the future, but you got to give him more than one really bad season.
You got to give all young QBs more time. I think a great example of giving a guy time is Jared Goff, too.
Please.
Started with Jeff Fisher, then went to McVay, then got good, then cooled off, then came back. Good quarterback for the Lions.
True. Yeah.
Ooh.
I'll definitely be doing it.
Tom's a definite. I'm still a long shot.
Perna might be a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble stream. It's a true story. Say no. Makes sense. You gotta go spend time with the fam.
I was gonna say something about the Panthers to close it out. Now I can't remember. Good God.
Oh, I have no idea about that. I hope not. I really hope not. Unless he bet it on the Chiefs, which I don't think they would. So, yeah. No, that's why we bet with. Not over.
Hey, speaking of, let's take a look at our sponsor of today's show.
If you
want to put your house on the line, the only place to do that is Underdog with their brand new swap your mortgage for a pick'em entry. Yeah.
You want me
Just
to
kidding.
them?
That would be ridiculous.
Disclaim.
Nobody should do that. Be responsible. Don't be an idiot.
Sexy disclaimer.
Don't be an idiot.
Oh, Luca 0.5. Perna, you could do random pickups again.
No, I already show you what I did.
Oh, no.
Here we go. Where
you
is my
yourself?
Sunday knockout? This is what I'm doing, Tom.
Sunday knockout.
$5,000 to first place. Yeah. It's a 3-person draft. $5 to enter.
5.
I like it. I like limited games, limited options. I got two here, okay? I got a Brock Purdy lineup. I got a Lamar Jackson lineup. I'm going to do a couple more of these. You can do multiple. Oh, let's see. Yeah, you can do multiple entries. Now, I think Christian McCaffrey, he is going to be your big scorer, I feel like. Deebo Samuel, his status uncertain. So I think that's going to put more value to McCaffrey and also either Jawan Jennings, Brandon Ayuk, or George Kittle. One of those guys, one of those three ball catchers, I feel like is going to have a big day for the 49ers if Deebo Samuel's not in the lineup. So you got to think about that. I like Jahmyr Gibbs, and I like Lamar Jackson this weekend. I think he's the most valuable quarterback in terms of fantasy. We saw Josh Allen had quite a few rushing yards against the Chiefs last week. Of course, Lamar had his 100, couple rushing TDs, and I think for the Ravens to win, Lamar needs at least 100 yards again, and you can do it against the Chiefs. So I like Lamar Jackson's value. Then it gets tricky because your wide receivers go quick or your running backs go quick. This one, I just doubled down on tight ends. Kittle, Laporta, liked it there. Fringe receivers there and Jennings and Reynolds. So you can play Underdog. Use our link in the description. Code GPS when you sign up. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. $5 entry. Easy. Chance to win $5K? I'm going to do it. Oh, yeah, I saw that. What do you think of that deal?
I actually have a lot of thoughts about this. First of all, another breaking news about the state of Wisconsin. So the Milwaukee Bucks, they fired their head coach yesterday. They just hired Doc Rivers. Yes. So the best part is like, again, and I admitted this fully. I pay attention to the Bucks in the background while the football season's going on because that's the most I can do while I'm like football all the time. And so as it gets into the offseason, I get more invested in the Bucks because I'm like, oh, it's really exciting. And now I can like watch it. And it's right around playoffs and all that great stuff. The thing I saw yesterday was the fact that Doc Rivers was consulting the previous head coach. It was like, hey, here's what you should do and stuff like that. And now Doc Rivers is getting the job. I'm like,
he's consulting with the Bucks. He's like, maybe you guys should fire this head coach and make me the head coach.
Like,
you ever thought of that?
Consulting with the head coach and be like, you're doing great. You're just trying to get him fired.
Weird.
But
I'm trying to think of his NFL equivalent. Is it Jason Garrett or is it Mike McCarthy?
Mike McCarthy has come back to the state.
Did Rivers get a championship though as a coach?
Maybe. I don't even remember at this point, dude. I'm also not as well versed in basketball as I could
was that
be.
with the 08 with the Celtics.
I actually have a lot of thoughts about this, and I actually have a lot of thought about making a legit video about this too. I don't know if people would be interested though. This is like a legit game changer, not just like, of course, in like the wrestling world, but in terms of cable, in terms of streaming, and it also plays in really closely to how the NFL is looking at streaming. So a couple weeks ago, because of the Fan of the Year thing from the Packers, they have these virtual events that they've had for the past few weeks. I've unfortunately not been able to go to a lot of them because it's usually like on a Tuesday when I'm trying to get out videos. But I was able to attend the one with Roger Goodell, and there was like a question and answer kind of component about it. And a lot of them were like kind of just standard questions, what have you, and some of them were already there. But I did ask a question and it did get answered, and I asked about how the NFL balances fan accessibility to games while also looking at their financial bottom line when it comes to giving, exclusive games to these streaming sites like Peacock, like they did this year. And he went on to say, and it was a very like PR answer, of course, but I get it. It was basically an answer of we're going where the fans are, in that, Peacock has a good amount of subscribers, like that's where the future is. And like, so because of that, he thinks that the NFL being as insanely popular as it is, and we saw that, I mean, hell, look at, good God, that Bills-Chiefs divisional game alone, right? It's always the NFL, like they have, 47 out of the 50 top highest ratings, like on cable, all that stuff. And so when they went to Peacock, a lot of fans, including myself, were like, I don't really like this because it's just putting another paywall behind, accessing the games.
They should do 2 paywalls. You should have to pay for Peacock. And then once you get in there, if you want to watch the NFL game, it's another $5.
Yes, exactly.
That's what I say.
Of course. So anyway, I'm going to get to the point, I promise. So basically, Roger Goodell was talking about, with the popularity of the NFL, he thinks that the NFL can help literally define some of these streaming services because that's how popular they become. I mean, look at Prime, right? They had out Thursday Night Football, signed a lucrative deal with that, billions of dollars. Then you look at Peacock, they paid over $100 million to have that exclusive playoff game, and they also got one on Saturday. And he's saying that they can kind of give legitimacy to a streaming site. And now with WWE, why this is such a big deal is because it has been on the USA Network for over 20 years, 30, like it's been on there for a long, long time. And on general cable for like 30 years. It's been on there for a long, long time. And now moving to Netflix of all places, which is a very like, oh, okay, they are getting billions of dollars. It's a $5 billion deal for 10 years. And now Netflix is getting into like that live streaming market. I know that they've dabbled in that before of having live shows. They've done like reunion shows for like Love Island or whatever, which did not work out. But I think that this is going to signal like, and we all know it's coming, right? That streaming is going to become the new cable. Yeah. As streaming services are now just fighting against each other because everybody has a streaming service, these services are going to be willing to put out billions of dollars to make sure that they maintain audiences. And I think what you're going to start to see is WWE did it, which is a massive brand going. And now it's going to be weekly content that's going to be there. And it's also going to be the home for all their content, you know, outside of the US. Now you're going to have like the NFL is going to get involved with that. I would not be surprised if you see another, right? Doesn't MLB have something with like Apple or something like that?
MLB might, soccer's definitely on Apple.
So that's what I mean. You're going to start to see these major brands signing these deals for like live TV because that's the next iteration of streaming. I'm not saying these are good or bad things, but that's what you're going to see. And the companies that are able to get on that first, they're the ones who are going to be able to say, all right, at least we got the WWE viewership. Okay, at least we got the soccer viewership. We got the MLB. We got some of the NFL. And so now going forward, like I think it's really just the tip of the iceberg before you see a lot of big brands signed with these streaming platforms, and ultimately it just becomes, you know, cable to electric boogaloo. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
It's like all of the platforms, they want to get the people in there, right? And so they got to have like that one thing that brings in somebody, and then once that person is in, they're banking on the idea that there's going to be enough of their already existing content and shit that's there that the person's going to stay. Whereas like Netflix with that long deal, it's like, we're going to get hardcore wrestling fans, some that we didn't have before. And because this is where this is going to live, they're going to keep paying every month. But now also, if those prices go up again and everyone's like, you Netflix motherfuckers are raising our prices after you paid $5 billion for wrestling, and I have no interest in watching wrestling?
But that also is the issue too, because
there's nothing we can do about it.
Amazon, they've already announced they're introducing ads. They already talked about, because this is what they do on USA right now. They script the matches around commercial breaks. There's a lot of rest holds and stuff in between. And for those who are paying for Netflix but like are going to get ads, you're going to start getting ads there. Like it legit is just becoming cable too.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at HBO, right? There's like Disney Plus. They all have like the ad-free options. I mean, hell, even with Peacock, I have the ad-free option because it was $10, just like the WWE Network was. But now they just have these really long, like, promo videos. They're like, all right, for people who have Peacock Premium or whatever, we're just going to show you this really big hype video while everybody else gets an ad. Like, there's nothing new here that's happening. But now you're going to see not only streaming services get more expensive when they're making these lucrative deals, but now here come the ads, here come et cetera, et cetera. It's just going to cost people more money, which sucks.
But, yeah, we'll see what happens.
So, hey, Carmi could have been the head coach. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Anything is possible. Mm-hmm. I remember watching those finals at work.
Amen.
At night.
Amen.
Praying that the Lakers would lose. Oh, God, I did. I was rooting for Boston. That's how long ago that was.
If it's punching down, I will punch down always. The Vikings are my most hated team because they've had the rivalry that's been most consistent with the Packers. On top of that, the celebration of breaking Aaron Rodgers' collarbone, and you could be like, nobody did that. We got receipts, baby. We got receipts. And
yeah,
it's just
but
like,
in
Vikings
hindsight,
fans,
that was hilarious.
Bro, that's how we donated $3,000 to a Minnesota charity to name a dog Lambo, baby, for a guide dog.
That's right.
Damn, that's right, baby.
Right.
That's chaotic good. That's chaotic good. But yeah, no, it's honestly just because they've been the most significant rivalry during this time because it hell wasn't the Bears and it wasn't the Lions for a really long time. And so it's been the Vikings, and the fans always get loud and stuff, but it's all rival love.
Yeah.
Could be. They could get Zimmer. I know that's been thrown around there before. No, it's a division. I mean,
Woo!
Maybe.
Oh, Michael Zimmer.
Hey, we need subs for our cars now, right? There's things behind paywalls now. Listen, if this ain't the dystopia you want, I don't know what to tell you.
That reminds me, GPS will be airing for members only from here on out. Yeah. So.
Yes, that's what I want.
Now we're talking.
I want a game played on the moon.
Now we're talking.
You think Josh Allen can sling it now? Oh, just wait. You just throw it, it just goes.
Yeah.
Because that's how gravity works, or lack thereof. Nailed it. Tom Grossi, science. Nailed it. Nailed it. Nailed it. But anyway, Purdy, you did your power rankings.
Oh, I did. Let me bring those sons of guns in. Oh yeah, what do Titans fans feel? How do they feel about Brian Callahan?
Yeah, so that's
it's
the other one.
Very mixed, and it feels like a solid hire to me.
Bengals OC, I don't think it's like too bad. True. I don't think it's too bad. Like I think it's you bring in somebody that definitely has some success, and I think working with Will Levis or whoever winds up being like the long-term starter there. Yeah, I don't think it's too bad of a hire. I think it's a downgrade from Mike Vrabel, but I still think it's a good hire. I feel pretty good about it. So honestly, people might not I think it's going to be like Chiefs Lions would be the most interesting one. And I want the Ravens to win. But I think it's going to be Chiefs Lions. Like that would be the most interesting Super Bowl matchup, because then it's like, okay, either team could win. You saw this in the first game. Now it's the last game. Chiefs 49. Because again, my opinion, the Ravens are going to stomp everybody. That's my opinion. I think whoever comes out of the NFC, the Ravens are going to stomp them.
I don't think they would stomp the Lions. I think they could kick the 49ers ass again.
That'd be big. Damn it, Perna.
I think, yeah, and if Andrews is healthy and ready to go, it's a nice little extra weapon there for Lamar. Oh God, I just can't have another Chiefs Super Bowl. They're probably gonna be in it next year because they'll be better. So Ravens, you gotta keep them out.
Happy birthday, Matthew. Enjoy that day.
Ooh, 21.
Let's go, baby. Let's
You
get
can
it.
join the army now.
I think you do that when you're 18, Brandon.
Yeah, but you can never too late to join the army. Today's episode brought to you by the U.S. Army Services. All right, here, let's take a look at this. Ooh, look at this. My rankings, less crazy than Tom's per the usual.
Wait a minute. Okay, hold on.
I messed up yours.
Yeah, that's not even my power rankings.
Oh, I messed up yours.
I had the Ravens, the Chiefs, the 49ers, and then the Lions. That's not even my power rankings.
Oops.
How do you got 4 teams, Brandon, and all the other ones you did all year. Yes, they were on all the drugs, but at least you got the order right. But when it goes down to 4, the final power rankings of the season, Brandon.
Well, to be fair, I just didn't agree with you.
Oops. To be fair, I didn't agree with you, so I just changed it.
Hold on, I'm fixing it right now. Let's get this right, Perna. I was actually also paying for my vehicle registration renewals. I was multitasking, probably didn't focus really. Had a really, really big bowel movement. There's a lot going on this morning.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Let me get the right one.
It's fine. Let
me get the right one. There we go.
You like football? I do. Okay, that's better. That is so much better.
You like football?
Yeah, I do.
We do too.
Yeah, we do too, baby.
We do too.
All right. So obviously,
very true.
The only difference is, well, it's just we both got the Ravens at 1, and then everything's different.
Very true, Elliot. Very true. We got
So
the Ravens
I'm high.
at 1.
I'm high on those Detroit Lions. Fuck them. Sorry, San Francisco. You're about to get your kneecaps shoved up your 3-fingered asshole by Dan Campbell and the boys.
The butthole has 3 fingers?
Yeah, that's what Campbell said, right?
No.
Oh, yeah, he said, you have 3 toes and your mouth is actually your butthole. We will beat your ass.
That's not, no. That's, you got some of it right, but that's not.
Doesn't matter if you have 1 ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
Ass cheek. There's not 3-fingered buttholes. I don't even know what that means. I don't know if
that's just a clip. He went on to really confuse body parts. He's like, I will make sure you need a diaper. He says, I will beat you so severely, you will be using a diaper for the rest of your life.
That sounds like a
Yeah, I know. He says, I don't care if you're in a wheelchair. I will beat your ass. Everybody said, whoa, Dan.
That seems
whoa, Dan.
And
he's like, are you a toddler? I will punch you in the face.
If they were a middle schooler, I would have condoned that. But
life support, I'm coming in. I'm pulling the plug.
Wow. I mean,
yeah, Dan that's why people love him. He says
Lions fans are actually saying the opposite. They're saying that Ben Johnson said all those things so that nobody hires Ben Johnson. They're like, no. That was all Ben Johnson who went up there, and it got real crazy. You shouldn't even hire him. You shouldn't even look at him because
all of a sudden it's like the Detroit Press, whatever their big paper is. Ben Johnson, huge racist.
Just like, yep, we
like,
got
that's
him.
coming out of Detroit. Got to be true. Can't hire that guy.
Just can't do it. Just can't do it. Yeah, so the reason why I have the Lions at 4 is just because I think they have the toughest road ahead of them. Because going into Santa Clara, it's going to be better weather. You know, I think they're going to have the odds stacked against them a little bit. I think the Buccaneers are a good team. The 49ers are a better team. And I'm saying this as the Packers almost beat them. But I think it's just going to be a tougher road. The 49ers, I think, will play a little bit better. And the Chiefs right now, dude, if they went into Buffalo and they were able to do what they do, like with a great game plan, I'm not saying they're going to beat the Ravens, even though, dude, I have a feeling. I said this in predictions today, which comes out today. My gut was talking about the Chiefs last week, and I was like, I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to go with the Bills.
Yeah, that's everybody's gut.
I hate it.
Because we've seen the Chiefs do it too many times.
It's there. And the Ravens,
you know why we're scared of the Chiefs? Because McCole Hardman fumbled on the goal line, and they still won.
Yeah.
Josh Allen fumbled. The Bills got it back. They still won. Literally everything went against the Chiefs, and they still won. But the Ravens are better than the Bills right now.
Yes.
Their defense is healthy, and it is just arguably better.
Yes.
And the Ravens offense it's a different beast, and they will win that game. I have to believe that, because if I can't believe that now,
yeah, I get it.
I've got 4 days to be hopeful still. I'm going all in on hope, Tom. It's a drug I can't quit.
Yes. This, by the way, when this first happened, I was against it. And I don't think there's anybody that's going to disagree. The Packers were the first team to actually justify the creation of the 7th seed.
Yeah.
It took a few times, but now it's finally been justified, because the other games, there was the one game, what was it? The Colts and, oh my God. It was a couple years ago, like when it first happened, like the Colts game was like pretty solid. And I was like, okay, like this one was pretty good. And then the other like 2 and 7 games were not good. Last year was whatever. This was the first year where it was like, okay, they justify it because a 7 seed finally won. They beat and they almost beat the 49ers.
I still don't like it. I don't need it.
I would, if you had to choose, like I still would like to go back to 6, but yeah.
I don't need it. I will say, like, it makes wild card weekend better for business for Tom and I. You know, a couple extra teams getting in, more fans are interested in their teams for a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, Mike McDonald, dude, like talk about potential, head coaching and stuff like that. Also, can we just talk about this real quick? 'Cause I don't think I mentioned it on Monday's show. Ben Johnson had interviews for head coaching positions on Saturday and then wound up coaching on Sunday in the Lions game.
Yeah.
Is this not this? I know they pushed it back a tiny bit. Is this not the stupidest thing?
Yeah,
where it's just like, can we just wait till the season's over? Like, then you could have the NFL is always about like maintaining like calendar months. They're like, yes, because March is now free agency. April, we got the draft. February, we got the combine a little bit. You can stretch that and also be the Super Bowl, combine, head coaching hires. You could still dominate in February. Yeah. And it seems like it's dumb.
It's an easy fix too. I think you move free agency back a week, up a week. Move it later in March. Have the start of the league year be a week later in March. Mandate that the new head coach can't be hired by your teams until after the championship rounds. That way, like if you want to interview coordinators who are going to the Super Bowl, they can do it early. They've got that 2-week window.
Yeah.
Like it is stupid to have guys coaching for some of the biggest games of their life, also having to think about doing interviews. And I know you're talking football, and maybe as a coordinator, you're actually just like talking about your game preps, your game plans. Like you're just going over shit you might normally be going over, but it's silly. They tried to fix it and they just made it the same.
Yeah. It just doesn't.
Like, it's like me, every video I make. It's like, oh yeah, maybe he'll be a little better this week. Nope. It's exactly this. It's not worse, but it's the same. 100% the same.
That's a lie. You know, you make great content. I'm not gonna let you put your content.
I've always made it great, but it's just never been greater.
You hit him, Perna. Your growth was insane this year. You got a million views.
My team was torturing me.
Yeah, but you made.
I got waterboarded by the Broncos weekly.
Sure, but it made everybody happier. Yeah. Not you.
No,
but that's why you have the Messiah complex.
Yeah. I hope every time I shit on my content, Will Keys and Johnny Barks just die a little bit inside.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they're just like, hey, like our names are attached to that too. And you're just like, you know what? It's just the hottest of trash.
Like, what the fuck, man?
It has not gotten
all night editing this video and writing and helping you. And you're still just like, it's okay.
You're like,
no, it's gotten better since they have arrived, for sure.
It's true. It's true.
But somebody said, like, there was somebody posted it was okay, so this was great. This was so good. Patrick Mahomes, Bills, you're great, Johnny. You've made my videos better. Okay. Bills fans throwing snowballs at Patrick Mahomes, right? You saw that, right, Tom?
You're talking about the video you forgot that you made?
I forgot I already talked about the Chiefs doing the same thing in a playoff game. The thumbnail of this video is Mahomes dodging the snowballs, right?
Yeah.
And I was so spot on in that video, too, because I was like, oh, God, I'm going to crucify Chiefs fans. And I didn't. I was like, this is every fan base.
Yeah.
Every fan base will do this.
Of course.
And so it's so funny to me to see a Chiefs fan throwing the snowball at the Colts punter in the playoffs. And the joke that hurt my soul in there was like, I know Chiefs fans, you're not used to winning a home playoff game. Fuck me, Tom. Dude, I didn't know what was coming after that one.
Yo, they heard you were like, bet.
But it's so funny. Like, as fans, we forget that we do the same dumb, stupid, horrible thing. And then when we see it done to us, we're all outraged about it. And even if like a snowball hit Patrick Mahomes, like what's going to happen? Is he going to die? Is he going to lose an eyeball? No, he'll be okay. Okay. He survived playing against the Bills for
you're
3
gonna get kicked out. You're never going to be allowed back in.
It's a dumb thing to do. Don't throw snowballs at football players. But I was like, oh my God. Yeah, we've been down this road before. And I had once I saw it, I remembered the clip of the Chiefs fan throwing the snowball, but I remember none of that video. And then somebody commented on that video. They're like, I was curious to see what your older videos look like. Looks like you've got a formula. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. I was like, yep, that's 100% right.
Yeah, that's accurate.
The only thing that's helped, that's changed, Johnny helps with the big videos, the long videos. Will's writing, always evolving. I just read faster now. I read the videos faster.
That's
little
good.
more energy and faster.
That's good. That's good.
So, Ravens fans, do not throw snowballs.
And how are you able to just have more energy? Well, that's Benchwarmer
Underdog
Brew.
Fantasy, code GPS.
I was trying to give your coffee company because it just matched.
Oh,
with the energy
Benchwarmer Brew.
Jesus.
Smart.
I don't even drink coffee. I was just trying to help.
Subscription service, code 50 off for the rest of the month. It's the only month you can get it. You get 50% off your first subscription order. You set yourself up for that.
Wait, is that true or no?
Yeah, 50 off. 50OFF over at benchwarmerbrew.com.
See, that's the thing. I don't even know if you're joking or not. That's the problem with your marketing. I don't know if you're kidding. If like your coffee's actually on sale, I don't know.
It is for the subscription service.
I don't know. Yes.
Yeah, everybody, all the fans. Like I said in that video, I was like, there's about 1,000 people who show up to that stadium every week, and they're just assholes. They're going to do stuff that all the rest of the people aren't doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like after that Chiefs game, why do you think Chris Jones was flipping off the crowd?
Yeah.
Because they were probably saying stuff to the Chiefs sideline all game. And you should talk trash to the sideline. But there's probably 10 people up close there who are taking their trash talking too far, right?
Yes. Well, it was like, so George Kittle went on McAfee and basically said, like, go pack, go the F home.
Yeah.
Right? And he's talking trash. I don't like, and that's the thing. George Kittle is incredibly entertaining, and I can't wait for him to like join WWE when he's done. Because he loves WWE.
Yeah.
But I will say, I get it. Because, like, when the Packers win, their players talk a bunch of trash. Like, that's what it is. Now, I also put out, because I had to do a lot of soul searching.
Sure.
Okay? Because this NFC Championship game, who the hell am I going to root for? The 49ers, who have just, like, beaten the hell out of us and have been the boogeyman in the playoffs, right? 5 straight times. Or the Lions, who are division rival. And they've given us some heartbreak these past couple years as well. What am I going to do? And so I have been racking my brain. I was like, okay, listen, at the end of the day, I could just hope that the Ravens stomp whoever comes out of the NFC, right? That's also, I'm saying that because I do believe it, but it is also, I'm hoping that happens.
Right.
Even if it's a boring ass Super Bowl. If I watch the 49ers get there and the Ravens are just punching them in the face repeatedly, like 63-0, I'll say that was worth the trip. Now, at the same time, I was like, if the 49ers get their heart broken after talking all this trash, that wouldn't be too bad. If the Lions lose and they don't go to the Super Bowl, okay, that wouldn't be too bad. But if the Lions win, and let's just say, somehow, some way, the Lions like play the Chiefs or something, and they win a ring, you might think, Tom, you're going to be there for the Lions winning their first ring. It's got to kill you as a fan. And a little bit, yes, there would be a little bit of pride because, like, you know what? Their fan base won. If there's any fan base, like, they deserve it. They really do. I'd be witnessing, like, their first ever Super Bowl. Like, that'd be pretty damn cool, and I would appreciate that. But it would also mean the Vikings are the only team in the division without a ring, and that amount of pettiness will never go away, and that is something I can 100% get behind.
Yeah.
100%. So, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So,
yeah. Should we talk about the fatal flaws?
I was going to say, let's talk about fatal flaws.
Is that what we're going to do today?
Let's talk about fatal flaws. 53 minutes into the show. Now we're getting to the headline here.
It's harder and harder to talk about whatever the title is. I'll tell you what, man.
That's it. All right. So, let's start off with the Detroit Lions. Let's start off with the Lions.
Yeah. Covering receivers.
Secondary is probably going to be their biggest weakness, right?
Yeah.
Secondary, looking at that, had a pretty good game against Baker Mayfield. Obviously got a little close at the end, but had a good game against the Buccaneers. But the 49ers have an insane amount of weapons.
Yeah.
Like, it's nuts. They did a good job, like, containing Godwin. Evans, of course, like, scoring. But, like, that's also Mike Evans. You can only slow him down for so long. At some point, because Deebo is not playing, right? I think that's what they're saying. Or, like, he's
It's looking like he's not. I don't think they'll know for a bit. But, yeah. And that's the thing. We've got the Lions-Niners. You got fatal flaw versus fatal flaw, possibly.
Yeah.
Because if Deebo doesn't play, there's a lot of people who will say he's the most important piece on their offense because when he's not in there, nothing else really works as effectively. And that's a fair argument, a fair point to make.
I agree.
It's hard to totally buy into that when they have McCaffrey, when they have Kittle, when they have Ayuk and Jawan Jennings, who always seem to step up. And it's specifically like, and I talked about this in power rankings, the Lions with number one receivers just suck over the last 5-6 games. Mike Evans, Puka Nacua, everybody they played in the season. It's like over 100 receiving yards, easy, touchdown, whatever.
True, Timothy.
And if Deebo's in there, even if he's playing, he's going to be playing through pain. So it's like, I don't even expect him to finish that game if he plays. So let's just say the Niners are going to have to deal with their big flaw, and that's no Deebo. And the Lions, Jonah Jackson, that's tough, but Ragnow's going to play through his ankle and knee sprain. And he should be all right. And then there's the key matchup of Sewell and Bosa. Whoa, that's going to be fun.
So that's the thing. I think for the 49ers, you look at the secondary also, because that secondary can definitely get torched. On top of that, I mean, the Packers, they did a pretty nice job getting open. Yeah, no, the secondary of the 49ers is definitely their weak spot. Their pass rush is better than their secondary.
Maybe as a whole, but I think Charvarius Ward's having an incredible season for the Niners. But Ward? Charvarius Ward? Yeah.
There's some games that man has not been that great. There's some games that game not that great. I'd say he's been better, but there was also some games this season I was like, I don't know. The point that I'm making, secondary, but it's behind Trent Williams. They got to be able to protect Brock Purdy against that pass rush. Because that pass rush of the Lions, if they wind up going, and they get it going, they get after Brock Purdy, it's going to be a day. It's going to be a day. I know, Thomas is definitely not good. Trust me. A lot of 49ers fans were in my ear. Wasn't it? Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Wasn't it Ward who was eating a whole bunch of ass against the Ravens?
Everybody ate ass against the Ravens.
That's true, but wasn't he?
Everybody had bird shit on their mouth from all that Raven ass.
Listen, I'm not trying to be biased. I thought that he was getting torched earlier this year.
No, Ward's been solid.
Hold on.
He's been a top 10 corner all year.
Let's look at this.
Giving up 3 TDs all season long, same as Trent McDuffie. Allowed a passer rating of 63.8.
Oh no, we're not king shaming. Let's see.
5 picks for Charvarius.
I could have sworn it was.
If he doesn't pass defend Romeo Dobbs on that first drive for the Packers, Niners don't win.
Oh, maybe I greatly apologize. No, I'm completely and totally. I could have sworn I thought he was getting picked on over and over again. I thought it was the Ravens game. I apologize. That'd be amazing. I don't think it's going to happen, but that'd be amazing.
Yeah. It's hard, though. When you watch as much football as we do, Tom, you'll see a game and maybe a guy doesn't play well in that game. And that's just kind of what you feel about him.
Yeah. Yeah.
It happens a lot to me.
I know Thomas. Thomas, I know has been bad. Thomas was terrible in the Packers game too. Yeah. I could have sworn. I might just be wrong then. That's my apologies. My apologies, 49ers fans. My apologies. I was wrong.
Look at Tom's got to apologize to Niners fans.
Yeah. No, listen. I apologize when I'm wrong. I could have sworn it was him, and I just might be wrong. I just might be flat out wrong.
What's crazy is okay, so the Chiefs have a really good secondary right now. Probably one of the best secondaries in the NFL at the moment.
Yeah.
Charvarius Ward used to be a Chief, and he had a really good season when they moved on from
That's what it was. That's what it was. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I knew I wasn't going completely crazy. It was one game I was watching, and I was like, dude, this is bad. They're just constantly picking. I think, was it a primetime game? I was watching it, and I was like, yeah, that's what. Okay. Sorry. Continue. Sorry to interrupt, right?
No, it happens. That's what I'm saying. And corners more than anybody, like a corner can have a bad game against a good receiver, and we're all just like, oh yeah, that guy's no good. And then a corner who's playing well, a corner who's playing really well, it's kind of hard to see sometimes because it's just like that guy's not getting targeted.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Was that was that the Jordan Addison coming
game?
out
Yes,
party
and that
game?
was that was Ward getting torched. I apologize. Yes. So it was that game. Got better. Got it.
What game was that? What
it was a Monday night game.
Yeah, was that week 7? Yeah, it was week 7.
Yeah. So
right.
That's on me. That's on me though. Okay, that was the game. Okay, so it did happen. I'm not completely and totally crazy. Got it. Yeah, Thomas has been not great for a little bit, but yes. Got it. Yeah, so the Chiefs, their secondary you're talking about, like, has been their strong suit, 100%. Yeah. Is there a fatal flaw that their offense doesn't know? Like, they forget, again, how to catch footballs and unable to get into that rhythm? Because they looked good last week with Kelsey getting involved, Rashee Rice having himself a nice game, Isaiah Pacheco continuing to run the ball. I think it's more like if they're unable to get in that rhythm. Right. Yeah. And if they do have like those drops and stuff and you pull them out of the rhythm, it's going to be tough to get it going against a very good defense.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I just think like the Ravens defense is more disciplined. And while like the Bills didn't have Bernard out there, right? Ravens have Roquan Smith, who's playing as good as any linebacker in the league right now. Jadeveon Clowney's been great for him off the edge. And you look at like that Travis Kelce touchdown, the one where he was just wide open and it was just a missed assignment by, I think, a Bills corner just didn't go and cover him. I don't see the Ravens defense making those mistakes against the Chiefs. So I feel like every yard, everything's going to be tougher for the Chiefs. Like we've seen in the games where Kansas City's offense has struggled this year, it feels like it's going to be one of those games. Patrick Mahomes is so good, like you'll have a chance in there. But honestly, like I'm curious to see how the Chiefs' run defense plays against the Ravens. And it's a weird thing because the Ravens one of the best rushing teams in the league. A big part of that's Lamar Jackson. They don't have their number one, like Dobbins went down week 1. And then Keaton Michael Keaton Mitchell went down in
Michael
Keaton Mitchell went down midseason. So it's Gus Edwards,
Justice
Hill, Dalvin Cook. Biggest run of his season came last week in garbage time.
Yeah.
And we saw the Bills, they were running well with it's like that same mix. You got a quarterback who can run, you got this weird stable of backs, and the Chiefs didn't do a great job at slowing that down. And the Bills kept going to Cook, and it was like Ty Johnson felt like he was running better. I don't think the Ravens make that mistake. So I think the Ravens, the Chiefs' fatal flaw is going to be stopping the Ravens' rushing attack.
Yeah. That's going to be tough. And so I think, Lamar, more him. Because, dude, I was watching the Ravens game. I've watched them played a few times this year. But just watching the Ravens against the Texans, I was like, how do you even begin to cover this? Because they have, like, very similar looks where, like, Lamar will pretend to hand the ball off, and he will hold it there.
Yeah.
And he will either take off that way, he'll go up the middle, or he'll actually hand the ball off. And it's just like, damn, man, like, your containment has to be near flawless.
Yeah.
And as that game goes on, like, they just wear you down. Yeah. And they might be able to read it because, like, the Texans did a pretty good job in that first half of reading it. And then the second half, like, it was like opening the gates. Yeah. And of course, on top of that, they actually have receivers they could throw the ball to now, too. Like, it is going to be very difficult to have containment over the Ravens. I think that the Chiefs have the defense that can do that, but it's going to come down, like, can they contain Lamar?
Yeah. I think possibly for the Ravens, a flaw could be you get a guy like Mark Andrews back, and everybody assumes that's going to be an upgrade. But I always worry about players who haven't played for an extended period of time trying to get acclimated back into the rhythm of things. Sure. And I'm not saying it'll happen to Mark Andrews, but it feels like you get him back in there, you try to target him, get him involved early, and just a mistake happens, whether that's like Lamar trying to force a ball to him to get him going, or he hasn't played for a while. It's like he catches it, gets stripped, fumbled, that type of thing. I'm just worried about like uncharacteristic mistakes from the Ravens. And you shouldn't be worried about that because they don't do it. But like they let the punt return go for a touchdown, right? Against the Texans. Like one of those freak plays that they normally don't give up. A pick six, a fumble recovery. Pacheco takes it to the house. Like one of those plays is just like it's a punch in the mouth right away. That's kind of what I worry about. Because I don't think a lot of teams really have punched the Ravens in the mouth. But
unless they're an AFC North team.
Yeah. They've beat teams with winning records like all year long. So they're more battle tested than really. I think the Ravens and the Lions are the two most battle tested teams in the playoffs right now.
It's the AFC, but we talked about this and Stern mentioned this too. Like the AFC North, like the Steelers have a great record within the AFC North. But you look at just the AFC North as a whole, their records outside the division are usually really good because they just beat the holy hell out of each other when they do meet twice a year. That they're like, oh, well, this game's going to be easier than what we've been playing when we wind up playing our division rivals. And I agree with you because that's always been the Ravens, right? That is so Raven. They're their biggest enemy is themselves. Is like when they make those uncharacteristic mistakes, if they put the ball on the ground, if they throw an interception, that's when you go, oh, this is where they could lose that game. Yeah. Now, again, you just got to hope the discipline is there, which I think it is. They're going to have an insane home crowd. I think limiting Isaiah Pacheco is also going to be a big test.
Yeah, I think the Ravens will actually be able to tackle him. Call me crazy.
Their tackling was great last week.
At point of contact, but I think they're better. They're going to be better at tackling him. I could be wrong, but
I mean, Huntley can do it. I think.
Huntley can do it. Best QB2.
Yeah, Huntley, I think, could do it.
Oh, yeah, hunting season. Sam Darnold, though, I wouldn't write off Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Darnold will be fine.
We got a Darnold-Huntley Super Bowl? Fudge, yeah.
Great. So happy.
What if it's Brock Purdy's elbow? It's the exact same injury.
Don't, Perno, why do you even talk about
what
every
if?
time? Good God, no. Anyway.
I don't want that to happen. I'm just giving you a what if.
Also, Joe Thuney being out too for the Chiefs, like that's getting hurt. That's no good. That's no good. Against
he got hurt?
Against that Thuney, that guy?
Yeah, Thuney.
Yeah. He hit the Ravens getting after Mahomes, I think becomes a little bit more possible then.
I didn't even know he got hurt.
Oh yeah, no. He got hurt. He got hurt after the game. So, after last week's game. So you gotta hope that protection.
Got hurt after the game, like in the locker room?
No, it was announced after. You're such a pain in my ass. You're such a pain in the ass.
You slip in the shower? What happened?
It was like a serious injury too.
Was it? Let me see here. Oh, a pec injury. A pec injury. Something to monitor.
Yeah, he got positive news on Monday, but
Thuney was
MRI.
Yeah, I mean he was going up against Ed Oliver, and that was a big win for Thuney.
There's Stern. Because that's what the Ravens have just had that consistency. And I think it was just like the handing off of the baton. Because for weeks we were like, oh, the 49ers are the best team in football. And then the Ravens beat the ever-living crap out of the 49ers. And we're like, okay, they're the best team in football, and they've never surrendered that title.
Yeah.
So I think they're just the most complete team. I think they have a really great chance to go to the Super Bowl. And I will say this, and listen, Bills, I feel for you. I really do. I think that this matchup between the Chiefs and the Ravens is the best AFC Championship we could have gotten. If it was being played in Buffalo with the Ravens, then maybe that would have been a little bit different. And for whoever wound up winning would have been a good story. But here, I just think in terms of the Chiefs with the talent that they have, the experience that they have, you can never count them out. We're talking about the Ravens as the best team in football, but all of us still have that uneasy feeling of but it's the Chiefs. Yeah. And I think that makes for an exciting game.
Oh yeah, but the Chiefs got cursed by the curse wheel, so they dead. They going down. They going downtown.
So not worried, Brandon?
Not at all.
Just like you weren't for the Bills?
Well, I was worried, but
I'm pretty sure you had a whole rant on GPS.
yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to hype it up. I'm not going to do that for the Ravens.
Please don't do that for the Ravens. Yeah,
I'm going to do it for the Ravens. The Chiefs are unstoppable. How are you going to stop those Chiefs? The fuck? How are you going to get to Mahomes? Slippery Vaseline wearing quarterback just douses his whole body in Vaseline and just gets away with it every week. Chiefs defense. I mean, the Ravens defense, if they practice against Lamar. Well, Lamar is more elusive, faster than Mahomes. They should have practice. The Ravens should let their defense tackle Lamar Jackson this week at practice to prep for Mahomes. Thinking outside the box. How about we let our quarterback get tackled this week at practice?
Oh, boy.
Anyway, I got to pee, so we got to go.
Yeah, I got you, buddy. What do you got coming out today? I can taste
it. Nothing. Go watch Power Rankings. We're working on
Okay. I just put out a video about Joe Barry getting fired by the Packers. Predictions are going to come out today, too. I'll be working on the North. Likely not going to come out tonight because I want to take my time on it. There's still an outside chance, but likely tomorrow that'll be coming out. So, boom.
Bam!
Folks, we appreciate the heck out of you for watching. We'll be back on Friday to hype up and predict those championship games. Ooh, it's the first Saturday without some football in a while.
Wow.
But folks, have yourself a fantastic day. We'll see you later. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna, who's got a P. And this is GPS. And you've been navigated.
And you've reached your destination.
Go PP!